Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So today we got this one. This is gonna be a controversial one for sure. This Trump savagely roasts trans community, declares you can never become a woman. Those words right there. Let me make it clear. I'm not homophobic, so don't come here thinking I'm about to be trashing anybody or any type of hate speech. We just simply gonna hear what Trump has to say, and I'm gonna give my opinion from my perspective and how I feel about what he said, and if I feel like he's wrong or if I feel like he's right. So, with that being said, original link will be in the description. What's smoking on my dragons, divine righteous, almighty greats, over achieving, never slacking. It's serious times around the world right now. It's always serious times, but right now it's like really, really so many fires. It was a bunch of small fires everywhere. Now it's big fires, getting bigger and bigger, just everywhere. So, with that being said, we're gonna hop into the video. Here we go.
Donald
Hold on. There we go.
Trump is not backing down from his war on transgenderism. The president used Women's History Month to take aim at the trans agenda, reminding everyone that transgender women can never become women.
No matter how many surgeries you have or chemicals you inject, if you're born with male DNA in every cell of your body, you can never become a woman. You're not going to be a woman. And that's why last month I proudly signed a historic executive order to ban men from competing in women's sports, and it was very popular and very...
Online commentators applauded the common sense
I ain't gonna lie, like it's a fact. It's a fact. Now, before y'all, people start coming at me, let me just say, I do believe, right? Because I have a different perspective on life, and I tend to look at things from the esoteric, traditional, more ancient ways, and I've did my study, and even when you look at, like, for example, the Native Americans, they had something called like two-spirited or three-spirited people. You could look this up, and it's like where they felt like somebody had the spirit of, like, say a woman but in a man's body, or two different spirit, like, so, and those people would be honored amongst their tribes. They would be looked at as almost like an oracle, that was easier to access the unseen realms because they carry different energies, right? So I don't bash people because I know that on a deeper level, spiritually, there's probably something going on that us humans don't really get yet. Now, they're on the physical, like, the other side to that coin, the flip side to that coin is, there is a lot of people who have been violated and turned into that. Y'all could say, oh, but look, there's people that went to prison. This is facts. I know people who have been to prison who have seen it, witnessed it, where there was people who have been violated so much that and this is insane what I'm about to say, they've been violated so much that they started to like it. Started to make skirts out of jeans and all type of crazy stuff. It messed with their head from getting abused. So there is people who, through abuse, through trauma, it affected them that way. Then there's those that, like I said, so there's a flip side to the coin. Now, as far as our children goes, I'm the type of person. You know what? I'm gonna save some. We're gonna hear the rest of the video.
Rhetoric by Trump, with this person saying, well, he's only stating a fact. Trans women are men. And this person agreed, simply saying, we won. Common sense prevails. Trump's reality check to trans people came during an event celebrating Women's History Month, where he was the first president to welcome a detransitioner into the White House.
Let go.
Chloe Cole said, "I'm honoured to have been invited to the White House today for Women's History Month. Donald Trump is the first president to ever welcome a detransitioner to the White House. This administration's drive to fiercely combat radical gender ideology gives me so much hope. Donald Trump has always been a champion for women, but he doubled down on that again, declaring a Women's History Museum will be built on the National Mall during his address.
It's been discussed specifically, but to create a women's museum on the National Mall, and we have a great site. I'm very good at real estate, you know. We have a great site, and Nicole Meliatakis is here someplace. Where's Nicole? And she is really working hard on this one. This is a passion for you, and you're working. It's a big, beautiful. She said it's going to be a big, beautiful museum. Well, it has to be. If it's for women, it better be big and beautiful, or we're in trouble.
One thing about me is I support women, you know, for sure. There's so much that's hidden from history, so much, and this is why I don't be respecting, you know, a lot of guys in this Western world. Oh, get in the kitchen and all this and that. Listen, women have played a big part in history way before America was a thing. That's just the truth. I'm talking about some queens that went to war and been seriously ran some armies. Queen Amina, pronouncing her name will be kind of tough right now. I think it's Amina Rina. See, I can't pronounce the name right now, but there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them that really, yeah, they're the truth. So I support women for sure.
Right? But we're working on that, and you get that going, and we're going to back it 100%, unless the women here would rather not have a. Is anybody not in favor of a women's museum in this room, please? It's okay. I could see some. Maybe they want to save a couple of bucks, right? No takers. Okay. You're all set. You have it then. I guess. I sort of thought that was going to happen.
The president also used the opportunity to spruik his new administration, crediting women in his cabinet for helping lead the golden age of America, whilst also taking a stab at his predecessor.
Throughout our history, strong, tough, visionary women have defended our flag, strengthened our communities, explored new frontiers, and expanded the American dream for all of our children and all of our people. Now, patriotic American women like those in this room are helping lead our nation into the golden age of America, and that's what we're calling it. This is the golden age of America. We want to do things that nobody thought were possible. You know, had I done it the more traditional way, which I actually did, but we won't talk about that. But had it been the, 4+4 as opposed to floor 4, let's see how bad they do, and then we get another 4 at numbers too big to rig, we call it. We have to go out too big to rig. They tried, but it was too big to rig. Had we done it that way, it wouldn't have been nearly as important or nearly as historic. It's much more historic. It's a much more important presidency. And frankly, because of how bad they were, we're able to do things that we could have never done if it were traditional. I don't think, Marjorie, we would have ever been able to have done the things we are doing now. You see what we're doing with the colleges, and they're all bending and saying, sir, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And they are, nobody can believe it, including law firms that have been so horrible, law firms that nobody would believe, and they're just saying, where do I sign? Where do I sign? Nobody can believe.
Trump's comments on trans people have unsurprisingly put progressives offside, with controversial Texas Democrat Jasmine Crockett slamming the president.
Lord have mercy, that is the biggest issue that we had. Since when? Since when? Find the little trans child that is ruining your life. I'm just like, what are we doing?
Women in Sports campaigner and athlete Riley Gaines hit back at Crockett, saying she is deeply misogynistic.
You too.
Look,
Thanks
that response can only be described as utterly regressive and deeply
Is America turning blonde? No, that's a joke. But I'm gonna finish. That's such a tricky topic. Like, I'm the type of guy, like, the woman, like, say that I hang out with or in my life, my mother, any female cousins, like, they're not the type to wear makeup, even wear makeup. So I couldn't imagine, like, I don't have any I don't know any type of woman personally that would even go and do something like plastic surgery. You know, I'm not around those type of people. So to be honest, I couldn't imagine a man really, you know, like, and that's not even a judge. People could do whatever they want to do with their, you know, but I, yeah, I mean, I'm around people who, you know, they be comfortable with who they are, at least to the degree of where they don't want to, you know, physically change their appearance or gender. So, uh, but that's, once again, that's not an attack on nobody. Like I said, people could be who they want to be. Hey, you want to go be a bunny rabbit? You know, like that's. I've seen me react to some guy on here who he was a troll, literally. Like, he dressed up as a troll. I think it was in the UK. He dressed up as. I'm gonna put that on the recommendation that after this, he dressed up as a troll and he lived his life as a troll. You know, it is what it is. Like a
misogynistic. It's what we've seen over the past few years. Democrats, specifically, of course, elected in terms of elected representation, they're not actually able to offer a rebuttal or a counter to the argument. Instead, they say this isn't really happening. You know, we're searching for a solution in a problem that doesn't exist. And so my question to Jasmine Crockett, okay, how many does it take? How many girls like Peyton McNabb, who of course attended, she was the guest of the First Lady at the joint address to Congress, how many girls like her have to be permanently injured, permanently paralyzed? How many Olympic spots do women have to lose to men before people like Jasmine Crockett, who again, at that joint address to Congress, we saw these women, these Democrat members, showing up in pink to symbolize how they are the party of and for women, how they defend women's rights. How in the world can Jasmine Crockett or any of her colleagues in the House or the Senate sit there and say they defend women when they can't even define what a woman is?
Donald Trump agrees, proudly canceling.
she made points there. She made points there. You know, listen, I'm not a married guy, but I definitely could say I know what a woman is. Not to say you have to be married, but you know, usually people, they be married, they, you know, whatever, they're around each other all the time. But what I'm trying to say is I've been raised around, you know, a lot of solid, good women, and she just made some points. I actually, you know, Jasmine Crockett. I don't know too much about her, but I've seen her speak. She seems cool. Uh, that one lady that just spoke made some points there. You know, she did. You know, it's just
Huge contracts that educate the community on niche trans issues.
Let me just add to that, and thank you. We just had a wonderful cabinet meeting, all aligned on certainly the effort to realign the government. But even at the U.S. Department of Agriculture, we've canceled a $300,000 contract educating on food justice for queer and transgender farmers in San Francisco. A similar contract we canceled in New York. Again, educating transgender and queer farmers on food justice and food equality. I'm not even sure what that means, but apparently the last administration wanted to put our taxpayer dollars towards that. We canceled a $600,000 contract out of Louisiana that was studying the menstrual cycles of transgender men, a $600,000 contract. We canceled another contract out of a university in the middle of the country that focused on getting more diversity, equity, and inclusion into our pest management industry. Again, these are nonsensical. It makes zero sense to use taxpayer dollars to fund these. I know these are just a few examples of the hundreds.
My argument to Jasmine Crockett would be, if so much taxpayer dollars are going to that issue, then it is an issue, because then that could be going to, you know, other things. So that would just that's the question. I won't even say argument. That's just the question I would have. It's just like, if there's money that's just going to places that people don't even really understand half the time, then, you know, I definitely think that would have to be addressed. And yeah. Also, like, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Hundreds and hundreds that we have found.
I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna be honest. You know, Trump, what he said, he just spoke like what a man would say. Damn. See, that's why these topics are hard because then someone's like, "Well, what's a man to you?" It gets crazy, right? So, as far as like from how he felt as a heterosexual man who just you know says he got a respect for women, he just doesn't want to see people, mess with their bodies to a point where it's like things in you just mess. It's kind of like science gets a little sciencey here, like science project kind of stuff. When people were just like, I don't know about you start putting hormones and messing with this and that. It's just what would be the effects of that down the line? Like I would, well, I guess want to know that if I was in that subject of, like what is it harming people? Is it so? But other than that, people do what they want. So, but if there's a lot of taxpaying dollars going towards that, then yeah, that's an issue for sure because we got other stuff we got to deal with. So, but other than that, people could do what they want. But if the Democratic Party didn't make that like a big focus to where it's like they're just throwing this money around, then it's like we need to know what's going on. Someone like me or other people out here who, be working and working and your money just going at these different things. I mean, yeah, you want to know what's going on. I have nothing personal against certain people that want to do what they want to do, but it just needs to be fair out here. It needs to be fair out here. Everybody has their opinion and everybody has the right to their opinion. But it just needs to be fair. Like things need to be balanced out. Shouldn't be too much focus on this and shit. It should the big problems need to be settled. 100%. So, when you make I guess sexuality or gender the big problem, um then yeah, it's like we gotta take a little bit of focus from that real quick. We gotta take some money from that real quick. We gotta, it's just too much going on. It's too much other stuff going on. All right. So, with that being said, once again, no disrespect to nobody. This is not a hate channel. Never been. I'm welcoming to everybody. Like, I'm not homophobic or none of that. So don't come on here thinking, oh, you're saying this. Yeah. No, I'm the wrong person to attack because I mean no harm. But with that being said, I'm definitely looking forward to the comments. Original link in the description. And I'll be back with more soon. Much love.